Alright, today we're going to be looking at Unit 5.2, critical points. And the definition of critical points is just, if a function is continuous over an interval, then it's going to have one minimum and one maximum at least. So there's two types of minimums and maximums. There is local, which is just defined to the maximum or minimum in a certain area. So if we were to split this graph in half, this section would have its own minimum and maximum, and this one would have its own minimum and maximum. So for absolute, it's just going to be the highest point and the lowest point. For relative, it's just going to be the relative minimum and maximum in that given area. So this point right here would be our absolute maximum because it is the highest point on our graph, nothing is above it, and this one would be our absolute minimum. Now this point as well is also our relative minimum if we're just looking at this graph right here. This graph right here is going to have a relative maximum right here, and a relative minimum right here. If this point just so happened to be a little bit lower than this point, it would still not be a relative minimum because it is a whole, and wholes are not actual values.